Neighbourhood policing has come a long way since the days of Dixon of Dock Green.
Good evening, all.
In this new series, Neighbourhood Blues, we get an insight into a new type of community policing. One where the police listen to the concerns of the community.
OK, thank you for coming, thanks. Thank you.
Tackle the crimes that are making lives a misery.
Please don't drink any more from that, please.
And win back the trust of the public. Over the next 5 days, we have exclusive access and we'll be following them around the clock. We get to find out firsthand if this new style of grassroots policing really works.
You're under arrest for theft.
Coming up. A crackdown on drinking in Chatham Town Centre reaches flashpoint.
Don't start getting shirty with me, mate.
A young Asian couple find themselves the victims of a race hate crime.
What you're suffering just isn't acceptable at all.
No, and it's not happening to anyone else kind of thing, it's just the Asian.
And a sting operation against stolen goods leads the police on the trail of a bicycle thief.
There's all sorts going on in here and there's too many people to control. I need some more people here.
The police have often been criticised for not being tough enough on everyday crimes that ruin the lives of ordinary people. To combat this, they've set up a new style of policing to target the criminals that are making lives a misery at the heart of our communities. Big question is, does it work? Over on the Isle of Sheppey in Kent, the neighbourhood police teams hold regular community surgeries. Police officers offer advice on how to reduce the risk of becoming a victim of crime.
We've got timers that we can give to you that you can plug onto a lamp and it can keep on overnight.
Oh yeah, I'd like one of those.
Would you like one of those?
Yeah.
I can bring one round to you.
Yeah, okay.
But more importantly, residents can drop by and get things that are worrying them off their chests.
So the road condition is quite poor. Yeah, what's your postcode, sir? And does it tend to get vandalled over the weekends?
Inspector Steve Griffiths heads up the Sheppey neighbourhood team. He believes these surgeries are an effective way of making the police and local people work together and cut crime.
For me, the concept of neighbourhood policing is the public, the people that I work for say to us what are their issues in their neighbourhoods, and we work with our partners to address those issues. And that could range from environmental type issues like dog fouling, nuisance vehicles, to crime, to neighbours that are causing a problem and things like that. So neighbourhood policing is about earning the right for the public to actually trust us and see that we will try to make whatever difference we can.
Stephen Worrell, the Mayor of Sheerness, believes that in the past, crime in the district has created a culture of fear amongst many residents.
People are afraid now to go out of an evening. They are frightened for their security in the houses because we've had a spate of robberies, and it affects people's quality of life.
One man who's looking to get the ear of a police officer is pensioner George. George has just had his bike stolen. He used it every day to get about and keep fit. Without it, he feels cut off from his friends and family.
6 p.m. Right, there was 2 kids, and as I rode past, and he said to me, he said, "Here comes cranky bloody George," he said.
How old do you think these kids are?
Well, roughly about 14 or 15.
But did they take your bike?
Yes, I've had no end of bike stolen.
Yeah.
Bike crime is on the rise. With more and more people taking to 2 wheels, bikes have become an increasingly popular target for thieves. Over at Sheerness Police Station, Steve and his neighbourhood team are determined to stop the theft of bikes belonging to local people such as George, and are going to mount Operation Bait Bike.
We've started to see a rise in bike thefts in and around predominantly the town area.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's certainly been an escalation in the last few weeks.
Over 1,200 pedal bikes are stolen in the UK every day. With cycling more popular than ever, bikes are increasingly a target for opportunistic thieves, and also criminals looking to sell them on to get cash to feed drug habits or pump the proceeds into funding other criminal activities.
What are we going to do then? Steph?
I'll deploy the... we've got the bike.
Yeah.
We can put that in the area and have the team watching it.
Steph is going to use a spot of innovative policing to help catch any would-be cycle thieves as they strike. He's going to put a bike owned by the police under surveillance to see if anyone steals it. With the team briefed, it's up to a plain-clothed copper to saddle up and ride into town to set the trap.
Can you just ride that around there?
Posing as a cyclist, it's his task to park the bike up at a spot where thefts have occurred in the past and then lie in wait for a would-be thief to steal it. At a safe distance, Steph heads over to the location in an unmarked car.
We're going to look for a suitable location for the team to sit up and observe the bike. What we're looking for is groups of people around. We know that there's a place where a lot of our drug users come and collect their prescriptions from around here. It's no coincidence that that's why we've got a bit of a problem with cycle thefts.
Arriving at the location, Steph quickly scouts the area and identifies the best spot to plant the bait bike.
He's going to be putting it by the bike racks.
He's chosen a place that many bikes have been stolen from before, and one that is in full view of any thief looking to make an opportunistic snatch. Steph relays the drop information to his colleague.
Andy, you good to put the bike in place now, mate? There's no one around the location we're putting it.
All right, no worries.
The bike is stood in the cycle racks, and Andy moves off to keep an eye on it from a car parked up on the road opposite.
The officers are now watching this space.
The surveillance team now sit in wait, out of sight for someone with sticky fingers to come along. And they don't have to wait too long before a passerby takes the bait. And with the bike on the move, it's going to be action stations for the neighbourhood team as they track the bike down to a Sheerness woman's backyard.
Am I in trouble then? Stop worrying for a minute, we just need to take some details from you.
The UK has the worst record in Europe for antisocial behaviour brought on by drinking alcohol.
What's happened, mate?
He's just putting me in the nose.
What for?
I don't know, nothing.
To tackle the problem, over 700 controlled drinking zones have been rolled out in town centres across the country.
Oh, leave off!
But despite the zones being well signposted, there are always people willing to break the law.
With all what is supposed to be an alcohol-free zone, and you'll still see people walking around with cans in their hands.
On the weekends and stuff, obviously there's a lot of glass around alleys and rubbish, and I'm one to ride my bike a lot, so I always get like punches in my bikes and stuff.
The alcohol control zones have been set up as a direct response to complaints from the public. Controlling them is a round-the-clock job. Tonight, over in Medway, Kent, PC Marcel Bibby is heading into Chatham Town Centre. He's accompanied by Sergeant Louise Sherlock. Lou has been running the Medway neighbourhood team for just over 6 months.
This area here is frequented by a lot of the drinkers in the area, as you can see. Lots of beer cans get discarded around the area. What we normally do is obviously take their alcohol off them, give them a warning if they're not aware of the alcohol control zone. If they continue to breach, then obviously they get arrested.
As Marcel and Lou work the zone, they don't have to wait too long before they find some troublemakers.
And up ahead are a couple that have had too much to drink.
Get that camera!
Oi, 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 oi.
With one set of drinkers moved on from the controlled zone, it's not long before Lou and Marcel come across another couple in breach of the alcohol restrictions.
No drinking.
Sorry. You alright?
How you doing, mate? You alright?
Guys, you know there's control zones down here.
Is that beer?
Sorry, I wouldn't mind one, but I don't think...
What are you doing with that in your pocket then?
The aerosol that this man is packing could be used to inhale gas from and get high. The fact that he has it makes Marcel suspicious enough to try and carry out a drug search.
Just take your hands out of your pocket a second, mate. I just want to make sure you haven't got anything there that you shouldn't have.
Wait.
Take your hands out of your pocket now.
Go for it, go on.
The man's hostility towards Marcel is about to get him into more trouble.
Don't start all that.
Don't start getting shirty with me, mate.
Calm down, mate. Yeah?
Before Marcel can tell the man he's about to be detained, the already tense situation explodes.
No, you can't.
Lou moves in to help Marcel, but the man continues to use violence and resist arrest.
Sprayed! Stand still! No, right. No.
Mate, you're under arrest for assault a police officer.
I'm not under arrest. 610 van, please. Tesco's Chatham.
I can't get in cuffed, Lou.
Right.
With Lou having called for backup, they desperately try and get the man to back down.
I haven't done nothing. I haven't done anything. Get off me.
Give me your other hand, please.
All right, listen, get
You're
off
going
me.
to know.
Get
Sprayed?
Sprayed.
Right, you either get cuffed or you get sprayed.
As the man continues to struggle, the team reach for the incapacitation spray. A short, sharp burst of the spray to the face can cause temporary loss of vision and coordination, making it easier to restrain anyone threatening violence or resisting arrest.
You want to be sprayed, do you?
As the suspect continues to fight back, Marcel is left little option but to use the incapacitation spray.
Spray!
The man is given a blast of the spray to the face and he immediately becomes easier to control. Backup comes in the form of two plain-clothed police officers.
Yes. One male in custody for assault on police. If I can have a van, please. He's been sprayed.
Can we stick him on the floor?
Marcel wrestles the man to the floor so the officers can fully restrain him till the police van arrives.
You right? Sure there's no sharps anywhere, right?
There's no sharps here.
Right, I'm Sergeant Sherlock from Midway.
Lou starts to search the other man present.
I've already explained to you the grounds for the search, so that you've got foil in your possession, which would indicate to me that you may be using Class A drugs. Well, it's not for cooking, mate, is it?
Tinfoil can be used to smoke crack cocaine. But no drugs are found, and the man is totally in the clear.
Started there, and we've ended up somewhere along here, mate, so it could be absolutely anywhere.
As a crowd begins to gather, the neighbourhood team search for any drugs the suspect may have tried to offload in the struggle.
There's some stuff there. The foil, crack pipe, obviously indicates he's a user of Class A drugs, and also the little swabs there.
The police van arrives to take the suspect away. Still protesting his innocence and threatening violence, he's pinned to the floor and bound in full body restraints.
We're trying to get the handcuffs onto the back, I think.
Just relax. Just keep breathing, keep talking, just relax.
Finally, the police manage to restrain the man and get him under control.
Up we go. Feet to the floor.
All right, chill out. I'm all right,
How are you?
I'm all right, yeah.
Better days?
Yeah.
What? Better days?
I've had better days, yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
I haven't got my hat on, we'll sort your trousers out and come back for you.
A spot search of the man's pockets doesn't turn up any drugs. But following his attack on Marcel, he's going to be charged with assault and given a strip search back at the station to see if he's hiding any drugs.
You're under arrest for obstruction of a drug search and assault on a police officer. You do not have to say anything that may harm your defence. Do not mention when questioned, something which later line in court.
It's been a tough night, but the zero tolerance policy in the controlled drinking zone is keeping offenders off the street. So, as you can see, it's tough out there for the neighbourhood teams, but they've found some clever new ways to catch the criminals, including setting a trap for any sticky-fingered thief. Over on the Isle of Sheppey, a recent community surgery saw locals telling the police about crimes that were bothering them. One resident, George, complained about the theft of his bicycle.
Why, there was two kids, roughly about 14 or 15.
So did they take your bike?
Yes, I've had no end of bike stolen.
Yeah.
The trade in stolen bicycles is worth an estimated £80 million a year. It's the kind of localised crime that the Neighbourhood team are trying to stamp out.
This morning we put out a pedal cycle owned by Kent Police in an area where we've had a lot of cycles being stolen. We've kept observations on that. We put that out at 7 o'clock and within 20 minutes that bike has been stolen. The person who's stolen that bike has gone to an address in the road, and we plan on going and visiting that person now, arresting them and searching the address, hoping to find more stolen cycles.
Steph assembles a response squad and they head to the destination that the bike is thought to have been taken to.
We're going to the rear gardens of these premises where there's a suspected stolen cycle. We're going to go around the back. There's another unit that's going to go around the front and hopefully find this bicycle.
Once on the scene, Brian is first over the wall, followed by Steph. They need to lock down the area around the house to make sure the stolen property isn't moved and the suspect doesn't try and make a run for it by the back door. At the front of the house, Vicky is going to take the friendly approach and knock on the front door to see if anyone answers.
Hello there.
Hello.
We're looking for a bike that has been stolen in the area. Do you mind if you have a quick look in your back garden?
The search of the garden quickly turns up the bike. Detective Sergeant Neil Kimber has stopped by to talk to the woman. She's adamant that she didn't steal the cycle. She thought it had been dumped or abandoned because it was left unlocked, so took it home with the intention of reporting her find to the police.
You brought that back? I did this morning, but I wasn't sure when the police was going to be there, so I thought I'd put it there and then I'll take it round to you lot later, so I didn't know.
Did you call it into the police or you just
Well, no, I thought I'd bring it back because it was sort of early this morning, so I thought I wasn't sure what time anyone was about, so. Am I in trouble then?
Stop worrying for a minute, we just need to take some details from you.
Yeah.
What was your name, madam?
The woman is visibly stunned by the heavy police presence. Vicky gets some personal details off her to run a background check.
Charlie Bravo 47 to control for a PNC check, please.
The checks come back clean. The Neighbourhood team are willing to believe that the woman genuinely did not steal the unlocked bike, but thought it had been abandoned.
Yeah, I think you've done exactly the right thing, and next time if you see it in the same circumstances, I would do exactly the same.
So, we appreciate there are some good Samaritans in the world still.
It's beaten off anything, but I'm just...
Thanks. You go and have yourself a cup of tea.
I would have to stop shaking first.
We're happy with the explanation that she's given. I think she was quite shocked to see quite so many officers at her front doorstep. I think she was being a good Samaritan, and we've taken the bike back.
After the earlier false alarm, the bait bike is repositioned and once again placed under observation by a plain-clothed police officer.
The bike's been placed near to a doctor's surgery, and hopefully this will lead us to a number of our stolen pedal cycles from this area.
Satisfied that his operation is back on track, Steph heads back to the station to wait for any surveillance feedback from the officer on the ground. Coming up, it's not going to be long before the bait bike is on the move again, and this time, it's not a false alarm.
There's all sorts going on in here, and there's too many people to control. I need some more people here.
Please don't drink any more from that, please.
The patrol of the controlled drinking zone leads Marcel and Dave to a run-in with a familiar face.
How many more times do we have to...
And a young Asian couple find themselves the victim of a race hate crime.
What you're suffering just isn't acceptable at all.
No, and it's not happening to anyone else kind of thing, it's just the Asian.
Over on the Isle of Sheppey, the Neighbourhood team are very visible and approachable. But right across Kent, regular community surgeries and meet and greet sessions are held.
How's things where you live?
Allowing residents to put a face to their local policeman and voice their worries about local crimes.
Speeding is a problem, as I brought up with the old bill. The speeding does affect me. They're up and down our roads. I'd like to see a 20 mile an hour limit on the island.
The support of the public is the driving force behind the new neighbourhood policing scheme, and this is only likely to continue if the police get results. Back over in Chatham, it's been another night on the front line for the neighbourhood team patrolling the controlled drinking zone in the town centre. Earlier on, Lou and Marcel had a run-in with a man that turned into an all-out street brawl. The offender has been shipped off back to the station to be charged with assaulting a police officer. It's now left to Marcel and Dave to pick up the reins of the patrol, and it's not long before they get a call to a disturbance.
You can't drink alcohol from any container vessel within the alcohol control zone. If you're seen by a police officer to do so, you must surrender it. And if you refuse to do so or refuse to give your details, then you can end up with a penalty notice for disorder or even arrest.
The pair breaking the alcohol ban tonight are well known to Marcel and Dave.
Hello Neil, hello Eleanor. Please don't drink any more from that, please. Can you tip it upside down for us, please? Well, there was a little bit left in there, wasn't it? Have you got any more?
Just one.
Okay. No, we'll be taking that with us, Eleanor, because obviously... No, guys, you know the rules. Eleanor, you know better than most, obviously, with everything that happened last year as well. You are not allowed to drink within the alcohol control zones. How many more times do we have to...
I'm nasty.
I'm not nasty. These are the rules, mate, and you've got to follow them.
You get that camera off me now.
Eleanor, calm down. Why do you drink within the control zone when you know you're not allowed to?
Don't be nasty.
We do think you'll be out like this time or not.
Well, there you go.
Well, you know, you also... Well, yeah, obviously, yeah.
I haven't seen you for ages, and now you're back down here again. How many times have we stopped you, Eleanor? Have a guess.
Oh, loads.
Absolutely loads.
How many cans of beer you had tipped out?
Loads.
I've taken most of that off licence away from you, haven't I?
I'm an alcoholic and I can't help it.
Why don't you go to the help we've
Go
offered
on,
you then?
put that on telly as well.
Why haven't you gone to the help that we've offered you then?
Because they're no good.
But you haven't tried.
No.
You've never tried?
The only way you can stop having a drink is to do it yourself.
The neighbourhood officers have put Eleanor in contact with an alcohol abuse counsellor, but it's not been a success.
No good.
There's lots of people
You know what? He come in my house, he said, Eleanor, you've got to stop drinking. I said, he was talking a load of rubbish. You know what I did?
No, he's doing his job, basically.
I opened the fridge, can of beer out.
Right, guys, get yourselves off, yeah? Thank you very much. Cheers, see you later.
See you later.
And next time, I don't want to see you.
Why don't you like Marsh? He's a lovely guy.
He always gets me in trouble.
Yeah.
Does he?
Come on.
Come on, Neil.
See you soon.
Thank you very much.
See you later. Hello, mate. Yeah.
After being given a ticking off, the pair move on.
We feel quite sorry for Eleanor. I mean, she's probably, of the drinkers down here, one of our worst because of the things that she does. I mean, when she's drunk, she actually can offer quite a lot of violence. And it's a different factor when you've got someone, an elderly woman, offering you violence. It's a tricky one.
She needs help more than anything else, but obviously she's not willing to accept that help, so there's nothing more we can do for her.
And she doesn't like you. I don't know why.
And she doesn't like me.
I don't know why. I've nicked her more than you have.
I know. It's the littering as well, as you can see over in the background. Over there, the carrier bags and the empty beer cans. It's not only that, you get people urinating and even defecating outside these places. 18 months, 2 years ago, this place absolutely stunk of urine, to be honest with you. So it's not just the inconvenience of people drinking in a public place, it's all the other effects that go with it.
Strong neighbourhood policing has gone down well with the residents, who have noticed major improvements following the clean-up and clampdown on drinking in public.
Oh, it was hell. It was absolute pandemonium, put it that way. I mean, you couldn't walk through here, this area, without a group of them sitting there, you know. Could disperse a few quid here and there, you know?
As we said to our management, saying when we first came down here, we wasn't surprised to find someone unconscious around the corner. Now I'm surprised to find a can down there.
Yeah, and I think you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you very much.
I really do.
Nice meeting you. See you later, mate.
Okay, mate.
See you later, bye-bye. It's clearly making a difference. It's nice if someone else notices it, because we're here all the time, but if someone actually lives here and they can notice a difference, that's quite good to hear.
As well as meeting the public, a major part of neighbourhood policing is to be on hand 24 hours a day to help anyone experiencing an immediate problem. And over in Sheerness, Barry has just taken a call that gives him cause for concern.
Hello. You've had some problems?
The caller is a local man who believes he may be the target of a racial hatred campaign.
Well, just spoken to Mr. about antisocial behaviour he's been having. He's been having some sort of harassment, people throwing items up against his house, and we're just about to go round and see him.
Barry?
Steph gives Barry a special guard camera. These security cameras are handed out by the police to people who have experienced problems where they live.
Guard cam is a sensor light that switches on, motion sensor, and once it switches on it also starts recording from a mini camera onto an SD card.
Barry and his colleague Ant Hopper head over to investigate.
Items have been thrown up against the property. Eggs, food, coffee, chocolate, all sorts, mostly up against the front door. It's particularly, although it sounds fairly low level, it's particularly worrying for the occupants, obviously.
The neighbourhood teams take any kind of racial abuse or assault extremely seriously. There are over 55,000 race-motivated crimes in the UK last year. Proactive community policing in this area is high on the agenda.
On the Saturday, my wife's just cooking some normal food, you know, curry. Came and knocked on the door. The wife answered. She said, a bit aggressive manner, but nothing threatening or anything like that. He said, stop this, you know, I don't like the smell of this cooking, you know, don't like curries or anything like that. Wife is a bit weak on English, so she said, oh, sorry, and closed the door and stopped everything. But I was downtown, you know, I was doing a bit of shopping. I came home, I said, you know, you can't do that. I mean, we got to eat and we're not doing anything bad. Monday morning, early hours, about 2, 3 in the morning, bang, bang in the doors. And it's got about half a dozen eggs in the doors and the windows and everything. Next day, same thing. And then I just had enough and I had to call the police then.
What you're suffering just isn't acceptable at all.
No, and it's not happening to anyone else kind of thing. It's just the Asian. It has to be a racist kind of thing anyway, you know.
The man is not the only member of the Asian community who has experienced problems, and the neighbourhood team make regular follow-up visits to all victims. Among them is local shopkeeper Jatinder.
If we get shoplifters being asked to leave and underage children coming in trying to buy alcohol, then obviously being asked for ID and being refused, and then through that we get verbal abuse and often some, you know, it's been racial as well.
Despite his bad experiences, Jatinder feels he has had plenty of support from the neighbourhood team.
They serve the community really well, and the PCSOs have always followed up the incidents that have occurred. So all in all, I'm really happy with the service they provide.
What we'll do is we'll loan you this camera. That's the camera. It costs about, I think it's about £200, aren't they? That there obviously is your camera.
The light comes on and sensor.
Yeah, and the idea is that if you do get any more, then obviously we can use it for evidential purposes.
I gotcha, yeah.
The other thing is, it's most important you keep in contact with both myself and PC Hopper. We are your local officers, and if anything goes on at all, if you could let us know. But the most important thing out today is to realise that you're not on your own.
Yes.
Give us a ring.
Of
Now
course.
we've made contact, just keep that contact up.
He takes Barry and Ant outside to look at the stains left behind from the foodstuffs which were thrown at his house.
Oh yeah, look. Yeah, these are all over the walls, by the door and everything. I mean, I've tried my best to clean it.
And on the floor.
I tried my best to clean it, but you know, windows, coffee stuff. I don't know, chocolate, coffee, something like that. It was all over the window, door, everywhere.
I would say your camera, Hamid. Yeah. Really, ideally needs to be. If you can take it just to the right of the dish, I would say.
Yeah, somewhere there.
The man is left to erect the guard camera. The team hope its presence will either catch the perpetrator in the act or provide a deterrent against future attacks.
Okay, thank you for coming. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you later.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
As they return to the station, Barry reflects on the role of the neighbourhood police officer and how their very presence can send a message to criminals and provide much-needed reassurance to the victims of crime.
I think that was quite a positive visit for both sides, really. People want the contact from the police. Even if the crime goes undetected, they still feel reassured by the fact that we've taken time out of a day to go around and visit them. Hopefully we'll see an end to his problems.
The types of problem the man has experienced have been felt amongst ethnic communities everywhere.
Oh, what you get called everything, and I really want to say on camera.
Like other teams across Kent, Barry and Ant are now going to have to make sure that they keep a strong presence in the neighbourhood to make sure the man's not victimised again. In a world where even cooking smells can cause commotion, it's vital for the teams to find out what's going on a truly local level, meeting locals and finding out what's bothering them. Over on the Isle of Sheppey, the neighbourhood team hold regular community surgeries to listen to people's concerns about crime in their area. A recent surgery saw pensioner George complain about the theft of his bicycle.
So did they take your bike?
Yes, I've had no end of bike stolen.
Yeah.
The police believe that bike theft can be linked directly to stolen goods being sold on to fund drug habits. In a fight against this over in Sheerness, the neighbourhood team have mounted a sting operation. A bike belonging to the police has been placed under surveillance waiting for a thief to take it. An earlier false alarm saw a Good Samaritan removing the bike because she thought it was abandoned. But the neighbourhood team are now sitting in wait for a real thief to strike. Back at base as night falls, a call comes through that the bait bike is on the move again. Steph scrambles a response team and they head to the location the bike is believed to have been taken to. Chris is first on the scene and begins the process of locking down the area around the house. He checks both the front and rear of the property, where the bike is believed to be stowed.
So it's not in the alleyways behind.
With nothing to report, Chris heads back to meet Steph.
Hold on, 2 secs.
But on the way, spots some people on the street with some bicycles. He stops to talk to them.
Hello, mate. Is it your bike, is it? Steph, what bike is it?
The bystanders are just innocently hanging around.
Steph? All right, no worries, mate. What bike is it?
But further up the street, Steph has honed in on some of the occupants of the house the bike is believed to be at.
Well, officers have followed the bike. We've observed it going to the rear of one of these addresses. I'm looking in the rear garden, there's about 5 bikes, so hopefully we've got a positive result. We're going to go into the address, make an arrest and then make a search. We know the bike's in there, so we're going to do that now. Yeah, person coming out now with fishing gear. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good.
What's your name?
A group of men carrying a load of fishing gear makes the police initially suspicious.
Out, yeah, push bikes, out and about in the area, and what we do, we watch, observe where they're going, okay? One of those bikes has come to the rear of your address.
All right, my address, I've knocked around.
Okay, well, you just come out of here at the moment. If stolen bikes are going here, then there's likelihood that stolen fishing gear is going
no, listen,
Okay. Part of this address at the moment.
The news comes as a big blow to the man.
On suspicion of theft of a pedal cycle. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. You didn't mention one question, some of you later on.
He's going to turn out to be totally innocent of any offence.
What we're going to do, we're going to investigate it.
But Steph and the team don't know this until they have a chance to question him.
All right. What's your name? Can you look after...
The fishing gear is about to prove to be a red herring, because it's not even been stolen. And Steph is questioning the wrong man.
It's a shockwave bike. It's grey.
Outside the front door, Chris's investigation has led him straight to the bike thief, who gives a doorstep confession to the crime. Following the arrest, people inside the house start pouring out of the front door, surrounding the police. Fearing the situation could get out of control, Steph calls for backup.
I've got loads of people in this address. I've got 3 officers. The bike's out the back. They're trying to take fishing gear out at the moment. I've said there's a motorbike in the shed. There's all sorts going on in here, and there's too many people to control. I need some more people here.
With a response unit on its way, and Chris having apprehended the real thief, Steph apologises to the innocent man for his mistake and de-arrests him on the spot.
I'm de-arresting you, all right? He's obviously admitted he's taken the bike.
The residents of the house calm down. Steph goes on a painstaking search to find the stolen bike amongst a vast array of other bicycles stored at the house. Other members of the neighbourhood team arrived to search the garden and quickly uncovered a sinister-looking stash.
Oh, nice.
What looks to be a bag of cannabis.
Basically what happened, right, was we were standing in the alleyway and we heard a commotion at the back. And then I saw a gentleman come out and put something on this roof and tried, as though he's hiding it, as though he's trying to dispose of something. Whilst the officers were in the house, obviously he's managed to slip out and just tuck it up. Unfortunately, we saw it.
With the full neighbourhood team now on scene, they begin the process of breaking everyone in the house into groups for questioning.
Is the van pulled up yet?
We've got one arrested. There's everyone else is in there. Let's get all the details. Yeah. No.
One by one, everyone is questioned in relation to the bike theft and stash of cannabis.
So I'm informing you for the offence of theft by finding. Yeah.
We have made one arrest for the theft of the bike.
How do you feel now about it all?
I regret doing it. In relation to a find of cannabis, an interview is just being conducted on one of the males and he'll be coming into the police station at a later date for a caution.
To be on the safe side, the neighbourhood team take away the bicycles, the fishing gear and even a motorbike to double-check they've not been stolen. Thankfully, they were all legitimate and returned.
If any of the property subsequently turns out to be stolen, obviously we've secured it now and we can make the arrest or the investigation at a later date. The guy with the stolen bike, he'll be taken to custody to be dealt with, or he could be street bailed. It may well be that there's further stolen bikes that he's got to account for.
As well as being on the crime front line, tracking down criminals and making arrests, a key role for all neighbourhood officers is victim support. Back over in Sheerness, the local man has been the victim of a race hate crime, with his house pelted with eggs and flour following complaints over curry cooking smells. The neighbourhood team have been in close contact with the family and provided them with a security camera to capture any further assaults should they occur. On his way to make a follow-up visit is PC Andy Dennett. Andy's been a community constable for 2 years and knows the importance of developing a good bond with the Asian community.
We've got quite a few Asian families living on the island. We have a good relationship with them, actually.
This is far from an isolated incident. Racial abuse is a problem in towns and cities across the country.
You got a lot of people, like, I've been called a packy.
Oh, what, you get called everything. And I really want to say on camera.
For the majority of the ethnic communities, it's a common thing, I believe.
The strong show of force by the neighbourhood officers has done the trick.
Hello. How you doing? All right?
Yes, not bad.
How's things?
The camera provided was not even needed.
The police came in, they come in every 2 weeks, and I just thought, you know, let's see what happens. And then it's not happening,
Yeah.
so it's no point putting it on.
No, that's fine.
I mean,
well, I'm sure there's another house that will need it on the island, so that'd be fantastic. But obviously, if you do need it again in future, if incidents start occurring again, then just let us know and we'll bring one round to you.
Yeah, because you guys come in, I mean, I've got all your numbers.
Mark Button, who heads up the area's race crime unit, acknowledges that the victim support that the neighbourhood teams provide is a major deterrent to repeat offenders.
The neighbourhood teams play a pivotal role within our hate crime investigations, and the victim care that we give has improved greatly, and people are being reassured and now coming forward and reporting these types of crimes.
The camera was a tool that was ultimately not even needed, showing that technology is still no substitute for a good old-fashioned Bobby on the beat.
Lovely. Okay, well, if I take that, thank you very much.
They've been really, really helpful. They all came in, you know, they all tried helpful because it was a racist comments that were made.
And his wife is back in the kitchen, cooking her curries without any further complaints from anyone.
Thanks. See you later. You take care. Look after yourself. See you later. And you.
So, as you can see, the neighbourhood team's role is as much about reassuring the victims of crime as crime prevention. But for neighbourhood policing to work, the police need to keep the public on side. And to do this, they need to catch criminals and cut crime. The Chatham street brawler was charged with assaulting a police officer and jailed for 28 days. Drinking in the control zone continues to drop. The youth caught stealing the bike was given a final warning by the police.
How do you feel now about it all?
I regret doing it.
The man convicted of cannabis possession was given a caution.
How do you feel about it?
The local man has experienced no further problems at home.
Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you.
Following the strong showing from the neighbourhood police team. Coming up next time on Neighbourhood Blues. The police launch a crackdown on drug taking in local pubs on the Isle of Sheppey. It's a race against the clock to rescue a baby living under the same roof as a suspected Class A drug dealer. And even criminals are feeling the pinch of the credit crunch as a local recycling centre gets raided by thieves looking to sell on scrap metal.
They're climbing into the containers and it's likely they're filling some kind of suitcase.